Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another FEM Talk Tuesday. How you doing today, Brandy, the disconnector? Yes. So we are going to bring in the beautiful ladies of FEM Talk. We have got Melissa Mimi, girl boss up.
Hello.
And we have Shema Shishi Talks.
Hey, Fem Talkers.
The young's in the house.
Yes. And we have a special guest waiting backstage for us. And we have Jamie Lane who is watching. Hello, Jamie Lane. We love you out there. Thank you for joining us again tonight on Fem Talk. And Brandy is blowing kisses. I'll give you some love. Yes. So, ladies, what are we hot topicking about tonight? Brandy.
Well, I wanted to touch on the passing of Mr. Kevin Samuels. If nobody knows who that is, he's a gentleman that was often hated by a majority of Black women because of his very truthful yet hurtful way of breaking down what Black men are looking for in Black women, especially men that are considered high-earning men, higher-level elite earning men. So a lot of Black women didn't like what he had to say. And though I didn't agree with the way that he said a lot of his things, I did agree with about 80% of what he was trying to share. It's unfortunate that a lot of women, to me, couldn't see. They were so bent out of shape about the way that he was saying things that they never really picked up the message. And it's to the point that like a lot of women actually are happy that this man is dead. And I'm like, wow, yo, like go ahead and prove his point for him, right? Like it's that kind of spite and attitude that has a lot of Black women in particular single.
Wow. So Nick, give us one because I didn't follow him. Just truthfully, give us one of the topics that he would discuss.
Well, he would have women kind of rank themselves between the a 1 and a 10, and he let them know you can't pick 7. So there was a young lady on there, and he actually became famous because he told this young woman, she would talk about, I have a business, I have this, I have that, I'm a high-level woman, I'm a high-earner woman, and he's like, you're average at best. That line was what got him the notoriety that he achieved before his passing.
Wow.
Because he was trying to let her know, like, you might have all this money and this, that, and the other, but the type of man that you're looking for don't care about your money because he has his own. He needs to know, are you going to be able to maintain the house, take care of the kids, be his financial partner as far as keeping things in order, making things simpler for him when he's home, and not in some cases, because he was also saying a lot of those high earning men that a lot of these women are after, they're not monogamous. About 90% of them are probably not monogamous. So you might need to be okay with him possibly stepping out as long as he keeps it in order.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, so I'm shaking my head because he was a piece of work.
Wow.
He definitely was.
Well, I didn't follow him, but I definitely don't agree with that last part. You said, "Hey, mommy."
Hey.
I have to agree to
disagree.
The last part in terms of if I want this kind of man, then I'm going to have to be okay that he has other women.
Now he didn't say it to every woman, but he said it often.
Wow.
That are not monogamous.
Yes.
Oh my God.
A majority, when you really think about it, a majority of men aren't monogamous. You got 45% of men that are like really, really monogamous, and then you got the other ones that you got about another 20% that attempt to be monogamous and slip up every now and then, and you most likely won't catch them. And then you got that next. What am I at?
Right.
Listen, we got our
35 that hopefully
Well, we've got one of our relationship experts out there, Mr. Suave.
Yeah,
Dr.
Suave in the house.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to bring you on to talk about this topic.
Yeah, I want to hear about the 45% and the 25. I want to hear about that. I need to hear that.
Yes,
Brother Suave, I need you to put in the chat if you know Kevin Samuels or know of him and how you felt about those.
That's right.
That's what I want.
Right.
Y'all just go ahead and check him out. He was somebody we love to watch religiously.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
I started watching him coming from the air at the airport, and I was like, "What is he saying? What?" Okay. Well, let me see what the next video says. What? It's he's rough on some
legit.
He doesn't sugarcoat what he says. How it comes to his mind is how he says it, and it comes out effed up. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
But the message
you're not gonna get on my show.
That to me is a majority of what he's saying is true.
A good bit was. I can't lie. A good bit is.
But it's
true. Just the way the delivery is like a hammer. Bam!
In your face.
Well, ladies, this is just our hot topic for this evening.
Right.
And I think we're going to need to have a show just on this. This is how we do things, right? We do
hot topic show. Hot topic show.
Stay tuned, Brother Suave, because I would love to hear what you have to say about these topics. That
you should get some of the 45% of the men, like one of those representatives, like a representative from each one.
Exactly.
That's Brother Suave right there. Many of us, when we are single, we tend to date as many men, as many we want, and do a process of elimination until we find what we want.
Hey. Well,
and there's a lot of women that do the same thing, but it's a different standard for women, and either you're going to acknowledge that or you won't.
Right.
And he touches on that. He does say that because one of the girls did say that.
With a high body count.
Nope.
Said what? High body what?
I said what? What? A man doesn't want a woman with a high body count.
Right.
Swall said truth and numbers are stubborn.
Yeah, man.
I mean, come on. This is sounds like a double standard to me, but anyway.
Some double standards exist for a reason.
Wait till you hear it. You could be like, okay.
Yeah, that's definitely a topic for another evening.
Y'all are messing with me tonight. I'm like,
I have to say, okay, so you guys know that when we talked last week, I have to bring up this hot topic, right? Because I was really infuriated by this particular topic last week that came out last week. The teacher in Rochester, right? You guys know I have to bring it up, and I think this is going to be a discussion for another time as well. But the teacher in New York who had his black students picking cotton, picking seeds out of cotton balls, right? And he tried to justify it as a lesson. Okay, but he did not make the white students. If the white students denied it and said that they didn't want to do it, and he did not make them continue, but he told the black students that if they did not do it, that this was going towards their grade. So, and this particular teacher had put the kids in shackles months prior to this picking cotton incident. So, the students finally told, right, Melissa, right? And you being in education can understand how disturbing this is. So I think this is something that we also need to talk about.
I need to put a disclaimer right now. Teachers,
and right now he's on paid leave right now.
Of
course. He has not been fired. He's on paid
leave.
The
salary.
Pending.
I got a disclaimer right now.
Allegedly right now.
I got a disclaimer right now. Teachers, be warned. If you try anything like that with my future children, they will fight you.
Okay.
They will not go.
They've been given permission by their parents.
Right.
And come in and mess you up. I mean, it's to, I will say this, and I want to have this talk about a FEM talk to come. We're going to talk about real-time slavery because we still living in slave times.
Yes.
what people want to do with us, what people do to us, how people treat us, the same systemic attitude that slavery was all about 400 years ago still exists today.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We have replaced it with all other kinds of things, but the same attitude still exists today. And that is just somebody who is bold enough to be out with it. That's all that is.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's all that is.
So I had to put that out there because that's a touchy subject for me. And
I got a bell now.
Yeah. Yes.
Out of order.
Right.
Exactly. So I hope the parents are fighting this. More to come on that particular subject, and I think
they need to take them. They need to take them to court. I mean,
that's the fight that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the legal fight, Mimi. I'm not even talking about the physical fighting, because as a parent, you want to turn the school system upside down. That's for sure. If something like that happens to your child, however, I am talking about the legal fight, because that's the only way to really
you
fight
want to turn the school system upside down. If it happens to your child, if it happens to yourself, if it happens to another employee, you want to. You just want to set the place on fire.
And again, we have to have this conversation for real. Especially about the school system, because the racism in the school system is the problem.
Right.
He was
allowed that with the children. And
see, we get that warning now, but he was allowed to do that because the attitude already exists in the school system.
Right. So we're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna put a pin in that, everybody. There's some music playing in the background. I don't know who that is, so we need to be able to mute that. Mute that music.
That's our own director or producer letting us know. Wrap up that talk.
You need to shut up.
She just ain't doing the kill motion.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to put the kill switch on for that one, because that was not working.
You go kill switch.
Look, order in the court. Order in the court. All right, everybody out there. So our topic tonight is actually, we are coming on tonight to talk about living with alopecia. And we have first our very own Shema Shishi Talks, who is going to talk about this subject as well, because it is near to her heart and a part of her journey. And we have our very own from Women Empowered Internationals. I gotta do that. Our very own Lynnette Merritt-Lott, who is waiting backstage to come on. So let's bring her on. She is also going to talk to us about living with alopecia.
Hello. Hi.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So, ladies, oh boy. So
it's a lot of hearts going up on the screen for Miss Lynnette.
Yes, it is for Lynnette. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you both, when did you find out? When did you first find out about your alopecia? So Lynn, you go first.
You're a guest.
I actually found out about 7 years ago. At first, I didn't get diagnosed because I just assumed that's what it was. Mm-hmm. But when I finally found out, it was about 7 years ago, and it was a lot. It was just too much to deal with. So I just decided to cut it, and I love it.
And it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. And we gotta give a little. Can we talk about this? Because I just love Lynn's boldness, right? And her courage and the way she stepped into living with alopecia. So we were all at a Women Empowered retreat. And at the end of the year, we always culminated, what we had done, for 6 months prior to us coming together. We do a trip. So we were at this trip, and Lynn was rocking her hair lo and behold, we didn't even know that she was wearing a wig at the time, and she decided to step out boldly amongst her tribe and let us know that she was living with alopecia and that she had decided to cut off all her hair, and she unveiled. And boy, did she step out so strong and so courageous, and I mean, had us going wild just because she looks absolutely beautiful without it, for one, but just because of the way, you know, she decided to, one, share it with us and trust us enough to share it with us, and then just to bring herself out, you know, to the world in this way and say, you know what, I'm still beautiful. I am stepping into this, right? I'm walking through it, and I'm letting everybody know. So I applaud you for that, Lynn, for taking that step.
Thank you.
Yeah, and not only busted out of the gate with it, and then proceeded to wear all these amazing bathing suits over the weekend with that amazing shine on her head. It's like, wait a minute.
Yes. So Shema, tell us about your journey, you know, how you found out and when you found out.
Oh, it's been how many years now? I am proud of 51. So it's been about 15 or 16 years. I think it's 15 or 16 years. And I did not, I saw a bald patch here and there. I didn't think anything of it. You know, just you figure you're losing your hair. And then I had my hair in a ponytail once. And when I went to get my hair done and the lady was taking the ponytail out, all the hair came out with it. So I didn't know what happened. I just felt like, oh my God, my hair's falling out. Actually, when I was getting the little patches, I went to the dermatologist, and the dermatologist said, it looks just like little alopecia spots. Because, you know, they were in certain spots on my head, and some were bigger, some were smaller. They would go away. The gray hair would grow back. And then it all just came out one day, you know, over time. And I never had to shave it or cut it all off. It just eventually all fell out. And for me, I have universalis, like a totalis alopecia. There's no hair anywhere, armpits, everywhere. You know, it's all gone. So, yeah, it was shocking, to say the least.
Yeah.
I think I was about 33, so it might have been like 18 years now.
Yeah. So when we go into, I have to put the other side of this too. When you go into that courage and that boldness, I know that you decided to write about your alopecia in our book, Women Empowering Women, Break the Mold and Make a Difference, and decided to step out there and let the world know about your alopecia. And, you know, you put so much of the emotion behind it in the book to talk about your journey there. So I wanted to give you also the applaud to say, you know, thank you for stepping out in courage. Thank you for being bold, for being able to tell your story in a book. So both of you came out in two different ways, but so courageous to be able to talk about it. Because I wanted to ask you also, both of you, what did this play on your womanhood, so to speak, right? Because we have certain things as women that society expects us to look at, things like hair or, you know, certain parts of our body, and say that this is tied to our womanhood. So how did that make you both feel when it came to your womanhood? Lynn, you go first.
With me, once I decided, so I didn't really look back. But once I did it, then I was like, oh my God, you know, like men aren't going to like me anymore because I cut my hair off. And then I thought about it, and I got a lot of compliments from men. They all loved it. So that fear went away easily. But when I really thought about it, I always bring this up. I always say that Indie Ivory song, I Am Not My Hair, because I don't need hair to do anything. Whatever I want to do, I can do it without the hair. And I tell people all the time when they're really like sad about it, I say, but you can buy hair on any corner. But I I don't need hair. I don't need hair to do what I need to do. I don't have to worry about it raining. I don't have to worry about it getting messed up.
I know that's right.
I took my time. I learned how to shave it myself. So I shave my own head all the time. And only thing, I don't really care for the cold too much because then I have to wrap it up. I have to cover it up. But I love being bald. I love where I am with it. You know, like I said, once I got there, just one day I got up and because my hair doesn't grow here. Mm-hmm. You can't do a hair. I tell people all the time, you can't do a hairstyle with no hair right here. There's no style created that's like that. So once I realized, once I decided I was going to cut my hair, I cut my hair. And once I did that, it was a done deal. And I just loved it from there. But I talk to people a lot and I let them know, don't worry about anybody else. Live your best life. A couple of months ago, I posted something and I said that, I said like it's a public service announcement. And I told people, don't ask me to try this. I said, I've tried everything. I've done everything. And I'm happy with me. I'm not upset because I don't have hair. And I explained to them, don't try to give me this. I don't know if you had a Shema, where you wear wigs. But I had a lot of people asking me, why don't you wear wigs? I don't want to. I'm okay with me. If you're not okay, that's something you have to deal with. When I say I love being bald, I love it. It's the best thing. I just started swimming for therapy for my legs. And I just get in the pool.
That's right.
I still washing my hair, but I just get in the pool. I'm so happy when it's warm outside. Sometimes I have to wear a little cap or something because, it's a little too hot. But I love being bald. And once I figured out that it doesn't change me, who I am, then I didn't care. Like, at first I was like, oh, people might think I'm gay. Nothing against gay people, but I was just, and then once I realized that all of my real friends never changed with me, So people on the outside that I didn't really know anyway, I didn't care. But I can't say that when I see people that are bald, I usually try to speak to them and I usually try to encourage them because you do not know how many people struggle every day with alopecia and how sad and depressed they are. Yeah. You have to be very careful what you say to them because everybody thinks it's a joke. It's not a joke to some people. It doesn't bother me because I'm comfortable with it. But do you know how many people are not comfortable with it? Those are the ones you have to be very careful with.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you ended it with that right there because you don't know. They don't know, how it affects you. And just because you're open with yours and your you wear your hair bald, wear your bald hair proudly doesn't mean it's open for conversation, ridicule, or discussion.
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand. I understand we have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. But like you said, I don't need nobody to offer me the latest product that you have out there.
Yeah.
I have to say for me, I do get a lot of that. You're right. People do say to you, well, oh, have you tried this? Oh, put the creams on. I'm going to say I went to the dermatologist. Before when this all started, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know why it was happening. I allowed them to give me shots of cortisone in my scalp. You could only have a certain amount of cortisone in your body. So they couldn't do my entire scalp. They could only do half and half of a half. So 3/4 at a time. And then I would come home and literally lay on my couch in agony because I not a physical pain because you do feel the pricks, but it was a mental anguish because I heard the needle going into my scalp.
Oh my goodness.
And it was devastating. And along with all the other things that go along with the fact that you have lost your hair and you feel less of a woman, I felt less of a woman. I have other things that go along with that compounded that less of a woman feeling. So when you go back to the next visit, now they got to do the other side and 3/4 of this side. And it went on for months. And I've taken things and I have put topical things on my head. And you know what? Not doing it anymore. I don't care if it comes back. Now, it took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time. If it comes back, it's fine. Right about now at 51, when it's starting to come back in the other spots, I'm getting annoyed because I like not having any hair in those places. And now when it comes back, I got an attitude because I want to.
Yeah, just
So
you wanted to say something, Lynn?
Oh, I just wanted to say that I as well was offered the cortisone shots, and along years ago, something was wrong with my hair in the top, and they did it, and it was very painful. And when they offered them to me this time, I said, no, I'm going to do that. He goes, oh, your hair is not growing. I said, I was bald when I went in to have it checked. I said, I don't care. I'm not shooting nothing in my head no more, ever. I said, you shoot in your head, you tell me if it works.
Right. So, and then, that, like I said, the mental anguish, you're in this dermatologist office, and you guys know how it is making doctor's appointments. It takes like 2 hours for the whole process. So you're in the, I have to gear myself up to wait for my appointment. Then I'm sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then you come in and it's nonchalant to you.
Right.
You're going to stick me in my head 50, 60, 70 times. Oh, and that's it. I got to build my courage up every single time to allow you to give me this medicine that's not doing a thing.
Yeah. And I just didn't
want to do it. Diminishing me.
I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, Brother Suave said, and we as the male species have to be compassionate, empathetic, and sensitive to those with alopecia. Sometimes we can be so shallow and forget to be understanding. Women are more than their hair.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I think the sad thing with this, and and I know we talked about it, and we all know what happened a couple of months ago at the Oscars. And I don't think they understood how bad that comment was. The comment was devastating.
It was.
And,
it really was.
And they overlooked it and they made it something else. And I'm not saying that something else didn't happen, but they really never addressed. If you hear all the social media, they really never addressed how devastating that comment was. Not just to her, because she did stand up and said a lot of what you Lynnette, what you're saying, Shema, that she had to just get over people and be her authentic self to even go to that point. It took her years to get to that level to say, forget all of y'all. And for those women that she gave the courage to, I remember reading the story when it came out. I remember reading and just giving her that, she gave women the courage to take that step, that you gave women that courage, Lynnette, to take their step. Shema, you gave women the courage to take their step. It takes courage for women to come out of there. And it may not even have been alopecia that other women needed the courage for. It could be a whole lot of things. But if you could step out and be courageous about who you are, maybe I could do it too. So to do that, and then on international world scene TV, for some man to come and take you down because you had the courage to be who you are, what did it do to other people?
Right.
That's what people missed, is how deep it hurt not just her and her husband, clearly, but other women and men, for that matter, who needed your courage to step out. Courage is something you give to other people sometimes.
Exactly.
And before we move into this segment, I noticed that Steve Harvey, of all people, was talking about how disappointed he was in with Will and said it was a punk move. I don't need him to have several seats. You have done plenty of things to embarrass all of us, Mr. Steve Harvey. So it's time that we roll into a commercial break, and Miss Tracy Randolph, the reset coach, is going to be hitting us with a segment this fine evening. So y'all, sit still, don't change that dial, and we will be back shortly.
People, when they're trying to really get focused and productive, to ignore the hey bros because they're low priority. motivation, create your checklist, and then that's the formula, man.
Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming on to FEM Talk tonight. I want to talk to you all tonight about womanhood because we are broaching the subject of living with alopecia. I just wanted to talk about just the emotional side of the pressures sometimes in society. You heard Mimi talking about what happened with Jada and Will Smith and some of the pressures in society just to be a woman and how we have to show up outside of our own homes as women. So I wanted to say to all of the women out there, we are not defined by our hairstyles, whether or not we have hair. We're not just defined by the size of our boobs or the size of our backside, the curves, our waistline. We should not be defined by that. So I wanted to say to all the women, just like the two women that we have on here tonight, who, yes, of course, had their own journey and had to go through the emotional effects of losing their hair, but came out and stepped out with the courage to say, I'm just going to be who I am. And that's enough. And I'm not going to be defined by my hair. So I want to say to all the women out there, don't be defined by the things that society puts on us. And the reason why I'm talking about this as well, because I can remember going through breast cancer and having to have a mastectomy and thinking about the fact that for me, I felt like I was going to be less of a woman because of it. But we have to step out on courage and we have to, figure out who we are and be happy with that and be bold enough to say, you know what? I love myself. I love myself the way that I am. And I am not going to be defined by my external body parts because of what society thinks I should look like. So we don't have to model after any of those famous models out here. We don't need to be, a size 2 or a size 4. We can be bold at whatever size we are and love ourselves for it. If we are, dealing with the effects of illness, or if we are just struggling with certain things that we think that we're supposed to be, I want to tell you ladies out there, love yourself for everything that you have, whatever it is, your curves, your own curves, the way that they are. Love yourself through it. Love your hair. If you need to wear braids, if you like wearing wigs, if you want to go bald, love yourself through it all. Be who you authentically are and be happy with it. So that's my message to everyone out there today. Don't let society define your womanhood. Define your own womanhood. Thank you. This is Tracy, and I love you all. And we are back. And Brandy, you were on mute, but you gave us this excitement of a yes here. So we are talking, everybody, about living with alopecia, and we have Miss Lynnette Merritt-Lott on here and Miss Shema Stroud here discussing living with alopecia with us. And I just again want to talk about the courage of these two women. And it sounded to me like before we went to break, right, that after going through their journey and dealing with the emotional side of things, that you found a sense of freedom with being able to just be who you are and say, you know what, this doesn't define me. So, I know with Shema, because that is my bestie there, she rocks her hair, and she looks good.
All of them.
Any style. Yes, she looks good in any style that she wears. So I just want to say thank you to you two ladies for, just having the courage to talk about it, but talk about that sense of freedom. Because, the emotional side is there, but then you got to the point where you said, you know what, I'm me and I'm good with this. So talk about that sense of freedom and when that came.
I was more stressed out with hair and trying to cover my hair and trying to keep it up and trying to make sure everybody was pleased. Because at one time everybody was coming at me, you should wear a wig, you should do this, you should do that. When I want to cover my head up, I wrap it up.
That's right.
Or I put a hat on it. But like I said, I love wearing my hair bald, and it gives you such a freedom. Even when when we were on the trip and I exposed myself to you guys, it was funny because I was on the airplane. I was like, oh, I cannot wait to get here and get to tell these people what I want to tell them so I can take this wig off. And even my roommate did not know. I did not tell anybody because I wanted them all to know at the same time.
Wow.
And I was in that room going, boy, I can't wait to take this wig off. And when I took that wig off, I felt 100% better.
Yeah,
100% better.
So I want to just
wait. Because that was one of the, how you have life-changing moments in your your own life. Yeah. That was one of mine. Yeah. When Lynnette did this, I remember because I used to do all the opening stuff and the intros. And she said, come here. And I was like, what? And I remember, I was like, oh, yes, oh my God. I was so excited. But to watch somebody do that, and it's like a life-changing moment. It changed my life. Because in that moment, I said, oh, what can I do then? Yeah. What am I so scared about? Yeah. What don't I accept in me that because of what somebody told me? And I had so many things at that time that I had accepted what people did. Even though I don't have alopecia, I have those hair issues. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have those I'm not enough with the hair issues. I remember burning my whole scalp off. With a burn. I mean, burnt my whole scalp. It was nothing because I have eczema. So I have, it's not the same thing, but it is the same kind of issue.
It's the same feeling
with your scalp, where your whole scalp is on fire all the time, and still getting your hair permed because it has to look a certain way. It has to be a certain way. So, Lynnette, you freed me, and I know so many other women. So that freedom, like I said, courage is not always in you. It's sometimes given to you. The freedom sometimes may not always be in you, but it's given to you so you can be free. And I remember you gave that to me. So that gift you gave to me that day. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that.
Yeah. And I wanted to go back too and mention something key that Lynnette said. She said, I was more stressed out with hair. Right. And when you think about that, in that moment, that's when you have to decide, like, this is tearing me down just to try to maintain something that other people think is right for me. So just both of you talk about that a little bit, just being more stressed out, trying to keep with hair and then trying to keep the hair.
I think in the beginning for me, I felt like I could hide it. So let me get a wig that looks something like my hair used to look, or I don't even want to discuss the fact that I've lost my hair. So, I'm not going to try anything new. I don't wear this hairstyle. I'm not going to go with any color. I still don't go with a whole lot of color, but I just want to look exactly like I used to look. And I still have those moments. I just want to look wear the hairstyles I used to wear. But it's more so, it has morphed into wanting to wear whatever you can. Have long hair today, have short hair tomorrow. For me, that's why I still wear the wigs. Also, let me just say, I have not ever revealed my head to the world. I mean, my girlfriends, my tribe, you guys have seen it, my family. I've just never revealed it, mainly because I don't pay attention long enough to tan the light skin up here to match this here brown skin. Let's just be honest. But I guess it was just that whole feeling of nothing changing, because it was so much changing, and I was so out of my control. I was like, I don't want this to change. So let's just get something that looks normal. And then the freedom came in when, I guess, once I really felt like I don't even care if this hair come back now, because the process of trying to get it back was so horrible. I'm not doing it. Yeah. And I've already made peace with the fact that my body has not allowed it, you know. And it, like she said, it didn't hinder me from being beautiful. It didn't hinder me from being sexy. It didn't hinder me from still being funny, still being loved. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have thoughts of relationship, because you all know my heart. I do worry about how somebody is somebody I want to date or love is going to perceive it. And listen, you guys know me. I'm going to tell you both sides, and I'm going to tell you the honest truth. The nice thing to say is they're going to love you for who you are. You're right. They are going to love me for who I am. But I'm still human, and I still want to be appealing and attractive to whoever I am attracted to. Yeah. So it's always going to be here in my mind that I am attractive to whoever this person is, and they're okay with this. So for me right now, it's a workup in conversation. Like, I really got to get myself together to have that conversation with the right person or the right people. I don't tell everybody I date, but once it gets to that point where I may have to, it's a workup for me. It's going to be something I need to just prepare myself for.
And that's, thank you for bringing up that point too about relationships, right? Because that's just real, we want to look a certain way and feel a certain way, when we're in a relationship. And I can remember the movie Nappily Ever After with Sanaa Lathan. But when I think about that movie and what you just said, she wasn't even with the right person trying to pretend, right, to be something else. And the hair was a big, big part of it, right? Remember in the movie, if you've ever seen that movie, she had to get up and prepare her hair and straighten it, and she put on makeup, and she had to fix herself up a certain way to look good for that man before he even got out of the bed, right? And that wasn't even the person for her.
Too much.
And when she went through her journey and she went through all the emotions and trying to be something that she really wasn't, right, deep down inside, after she had gone through all the emotions, she ended up cutting her hair and feeling so free, and then being able to meet the right person, that she could, have this companion who really looked at her just for who she was without the hair, right? He didn't care about the hair. He thought that she was sexy, and she was so free. So I want to just say to all the ladies out there, and to you ladies, right? Like, when we accept who we are, with what's our so-called, and I'm putting up the air quotes, right? Because our so-called shortcomings, what we may think are shortcomings, we bring in the right people in those moments, right? When we're being pretentious, it's not. What night is him talk? That's our coach there. That is our coach there. It is not him Lauren. Talk.
I wanted to know if I could ask a question to Shema.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to know, do you feel like because you have alopecia, nobody knows that you're not sexy, or that you don't think you'll get the right person? Because it just doesn't bother me anymore. I don't know. It's not that I don't care. I care, but people have to accept you for what you are or who you are. And until they do that, that's probably not the person for you anyway. And it's most likely definitely not even the person that you want. Right. So if somebody doesn't accept you for who you are, or even if you tell them and you love them, you're like, but if they don't accept it, that is not the person for you, because we've already lived this life of dealing with alopecia. We don't have to deal with something else. You're like, to me, it's like adding on something else. who cares what they think? There's always gonna be someone for you. And I ain't found him yet either, but
Well, that's also a good way to learn how to love yourself. If you feel that rejection because somebody can't appreciate all of you the way that you are,
right?
And
it helps you
know how that hit you. That lets you know, like, I still have some self-work to do before I'm ready for that person. Because I'm going to find that person. I'm always going to say, well, what's he really thinking about this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But when you walk in the room, like, I'm here, damn it.
Now, y'all know I gotta put my disclaimer out there. I'm gonna answer Lynn. There's never a time that I don't feel sexy. Let's get that.
Okay.
Y'all know me.
All right.
Now, even when I walk around here with no hair on, it is never a time.
That's right. Exactly.
Come on now.
That feels sexy.
Absolutely right.
Talk about being bold, right?
And that's not putting on for the show. Y'all know the people out there. Y'all may not know me. These ladies right here done seen me at the end with nothing on, and I say my barest, meaning hair, body, soul. It ain't never a time where I don't feel sexy. For me, a better way for me to answer you, Lynn, is my reaction to the response. My work, Brandy, like you said in me, that I gotta have is not being ready to jump at their reaction. Because and it's not so much, me and Melissa had this conversation earlier today. Not so much, you trying to get at me, but if you say it to me, you'll say it to anybody.
Well, now
that's having this problem. So in my mind, you think it's okay to say that to me?
Right. Yeah.
Nope. And that's where I have to control myself. I have to, because the anger in the statement or the anger from the statement that's developed when they say it to me or around me or in my presence, that's what I'm still working on. Still work in progress. I don't want the comments. I don't care. If you ask me wholeheartedly, I'm a person that connects heart to heart. So if you ask me a question with your heart about my alopecia, I'm going to answer you, and I'm not going to feel attacked.
Yeah.
If you ask me a question that has no base or no grounding in concern, or you're just nosy, or you're trying to, it's a dig,
come on now,
and I feel it, you're going to get what you get.
But I have a question.
What's your question?
Typically at the diagnosis of alopecia, right, you do research. So in your research, did you identify and learn about the different types of alopecia?
Absolutely.
I did not. Because once I found out I had it, and once I decided that was it, that was it. I don't want you to give me another thing to try. I don't want you shooting me in my head. I don't want you telling me to try it. I was done.
Yeah.
Shave my head once or twice a week, and I'm done. That's it.
That's
it. I love that.
I think I did because, like I said, I had some other medical things that I was concerned with. I also have a thyroid issue. So in the sense, for as far as I know, that is where mine has come from. So it's almost like your hair follicles have attacked your body, or your body has attacked itself, and it was attacked in the hair follicles. So when all the hair, and I mean every bit, eyelashes, eyebrows, nose hair, ear hair, and we talk about the common areas, the armpits and the pubic areas, but when you think about it and when you experience it on a totalis or universalis state, which is where I am, you lose everything. Like I said, the ear, nose, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, the hair that's on your knuckles and on the knuckles on your feet. You don't, when you go get your feet done and they make them all nice and pretty, some salons will put a little wax on your toes and peel that hair off. I don't have none of that. That's
my toes.
No hair on the arms, no hair on the legs. None of that. So,
Auntie Mama said TMI.
you know, this film talk, mommy. This
That's
film
right.
talk, mommy.
That's
But
right.
Laura
That's
said,
right.
I think
And
every lady
I
on
love
the
that
panel-
y'all are sharing these details because again, it's fem talk.
Yeah.
And these are the things that you would never talk about. And I think it's once again, y'all are giving so many people freedom tonight. You're giving so many more people courage because these are conversations that, you know, and you know, I have to admit, I called Shema after that whole incident happened. I said, Shema, would you consider calling that? You know, because I you know, because I know what you did for me. And I know what y'all and my thought is this is fem talk, and let other people hear this because for whatever you're dealing with, or whatever you're suffering with, whatever that you know, or to your point, Shema, maybe they hear some more conversation that you're saying and say, oh, maybe I should look into this. So sometimes we don't even know what's happening with our body, and maybe that may trigger something else to maybe let me look into this. Maybe this is why. So I just appreciate. Just once again, just what y'all are sharing, what y'all are talking about, and you know, this is fem talk.
You know what I want to make sure that I say too, because I've said all of those things and I make fun of a lot of things. But you have to think about those who are wondering if this is alopecia or if I'm suffering from it or what kind do I have. And you know, we talk about this all the time on Fem Talk. We're not so quick to run to the doctor and check out what this is. So we just assume, oh, I'm losing my hair. Oh, it's a bald patch. It's okay. It'll come back, or maybe it won't. But the idea of not having nose hair and ear hair and eyelashes, you have to think about the things that because they're so minuscule, you don't think about what it does to your body.
Why you have
I'm gonna get not vulgar, but real clear with you. When you have no nose hair and your nose runs, it runs straight out. There's no stopping.
Right.
When you have no ear hair, everything in the atmosphere can enter your ear canal and your nose. Yeah. When you have no eyelashes or eyebrows, everything goes in your eye.
Yeah.
So some of the one on the top of the head, sometimes you can handle that. Depending on the type of alopecia you have, those other concerns create other issues.
Yeah.
I was getting way more bronchitis infections because there was nothing to stop all the allergens to go into my body. There's nothing to stop them going into my ear. And I was I'm still an avid wearer of eyelashes, but sunglasses, because nothing stopped the atmosphere from just putting things in your eyes. So you please just take the moment to not only understand the part where you're losing your hair, but pay attention to those other parts of your body. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. Doesn't mean that you don't have alopecia. It just means that you have a different kind.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that too, because, you know, I'm going to go on that side of, you know, start to learn your body.
Learn your body.
Right. You really have to know your own body. And then once you start saying, okay, something's not right here, because I know my body doesn't respond normally this way, or this doesn't normally happen, right? If you know your body, then you can say, all right, this is not normal, and I need to go to the doctor, and err on the side of going to see a physician to get things checked out. You can make your own decision still once you know, but the point is, get to know what's happening, right? So go to those physicians, figure it out with them, and then make the decision on how you want to handle it after that. So I wanted to say that. I appreciate you saying that.
And I'm going to give you a good Fem Talk statement, because this is Fem Talk. I'm saying it now because my mom and your mom probably going to be like, uh-oh, she done said it. When you have no hair in those wonderful private areas, honey, all I'm gonna say to you women is just try it out.
My mom's gonna say TMI again. TMI.
No, they can say TMI. If you don't suffer from alopecia, go get your full bikini wax and see how you feel after there's no hair.
Talk about freedom. Freedom.
What? I listen. Some good things come out of some things you don't expect.
Yes, I agree. Tammy out there says Brazil. Yes, Brazilian it up. I agree, Tammy.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, any final words, because we're coming on the last few minutes, any final words out there that you just want to give anybody out there who may be suffering with alopecia or who's not sure, but has, showing some signs and symptoms? Can you give them some advice really quick, Lynn, and then Shema?
I just say, just make sure you check it out, because I didn't know for a long time. And when I found out, that's when you make your decision. But one other thing I want to say is just be yourself. Just enjoy your life. Just to live the best life you have. Don't worry about nobody else, because again, as I say, I'm not my hair. I'm way better than that hair. So that's all I have to say.
That's right. Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah. I think she put it in a nutshell. It is you are who you are. What if I didn't have a hand? I hate to be so explicit with it. It's just an extension of the body. Yeah. That's something we all had to learn.
Yes.
It's an extension of the body. It doesn't make my heart less.
Right.
It doesn't make my brain less. Mm-hmm. Would I trade it? Would I sign up for it? No. But would I trade it for my brain and the intelligence that I have? Absolutely not. Would I trade it for my heart and the compassion I have for people and the love I have for people? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. I'll walk around with no hair forever if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this has been another episode of Fem Talk. I appreciate you ladies for your boldness, your courage, your strength, for walking through your journey and sharing that with everybody out here. And I hope that this has helped any other of the young ladies or even young men that are out there who may be suffering or, who just don't understand right now what's going on, that they'll take the measures to really figure that out. Aw.
That's a hamster. I love the hamster.
Yes. So we thank you, ladies, for that. Thank you, Lynn, for joining us tonight on Fem Talk. I hope
thank you so much for having. I did have a good time. I really did.
It was so good seeing you.
You too.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys for there's a lot of people that have alopecia that don't speak on it. They're not open about it. They don't let people know different ways to see it. As soon as I heard, if I'm somebody that receives that diagnosis at any point in time, I'm gonna be upset at first because I do like my hair, but at the same time, I'm going to think about the fact that I don't have to buy shampoo. I don't have to go get my hair done. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And
I don't have to wear a hat in the wintertime if I don't want to, because I can put a wig on.
Exactly.
It's already
I love how you guys are full on actual examples of how to flip it on its head and learn to be happy anyways. You still have life, you still have breath, you can still be sexy even without hair. And I love that you guys reminded us all of that. So I thank you guys so much for being as transparent as you've been about alopecia this fine evening.
Absolutely. So we thank everybody for watching Fem Talk. Catch us again Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. We will see you next Tuesday, and we are out. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.